So we've created this professional development because we're going to go over with the community-based instruction. So you'll hear me reference that as CBI. So CBI, or community-based instruction, is one form of transition. So transition, we've got, as an administrator and as a teacher, you guys will see students that are going through this. But whereas we've got a student and we have a parent in our group as well, so that we have varying pieces of knowledge, and so we're going to try to cover a vast variety of topics. But the main objective of today, as you can see in the pamphlet that Miss Emily made for you guys, she is my partner in our group, so she's created that for you so you can kind of have a guideline as our objectives that we're going to go over today. So the four main points that we're going to hopefully hit is that you have a clearer perspective, or you are able to see kind of how the community-based is in several different areas. So domestic domain is one of them. The other one is vocational domain, and then recreation and leisure, that might be of interest to you. And then also about more so of community resources. So how can all of those come into play? So that's going to be our objectives for today. So first off, when we're talking about a domestic domain, so that can be, well, I'll go ahead and phrase it as a question instead. So what are some areas that you see student needs in, or maybe you have a student need in the domestic area? So domestic's going to be food preparation, wellness and nutrition, meal planning. So do you guys have any contact with students, or is there someone, so Karis, you're looking at, like, as you're going into, you're moving from high school, thinking about how you're going to be after school, the areas that you need to be able to live on your own and things like that. So are there any student needs, or as a parent, Timmy, if there's any needs that you can think of in preparation for your child being able to develop well outside of school?
I would have to wonder if there's if there is a rating scale for that would represent a matrix or rubric to say in each of these areas how well are we doing at home, to know where we're at so we can know where we need to get to, what we need to cover, how we can assist both home and school and community and bring it all together. And so finding out just how much is happening and encouraging that with the parents, I feel is important. We need to figure out how to tackle this together.
Yeah. So let's just do like hygiene, health, housekeeping, safety. Any of those, we'll go with you, Karis. What are some areas that you feel like maybe you could need some help with?
Like, what do you, like, just
So
in general?
let's go, let's go with housekeeping. What, as a student, what can you say is some areas that maybe you could look to need some help in?
Housekeeping, well,
Or if there's any concerns
I don't
in that area. Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
I'm okay.
So what we've kind of developed here is we want to do evidence-based projects and planning and practices so that our students can begin to answer those questions, like, okay, like you said, in a scale, like, where am I weak in? Where do I need to improve in? And what is my ultimate goal? Like, where do I want to be? Can I do laundry and realize when my house is getting to be a mess? And where are those areas in our community that we can reach out in? So we're always going to face each one of these topics. We're going to look at what are the practices that we can use. How is this in the transition process? So for domain, I would say like modeling health and wellness would be a big one. So I know that Karis just got back from a run. She's doing something for her health. We're trying to drink more water in our own household. Those are just small little things that we can do in the home base that makes an impact on their lives.
Even like meal prep.
So
Teaching
meal
them how
prep
to
and meal
prep.
planning, yes, would be another one. Okay, so let's switch over to vocational. So this could be a classroom job, a school job, a non-paid work experience within the community, a paid work experience. So what are some areas that we can work on as far as, I want to go back every time to where is our need at? So you can think of just one particular student that you think in your buildings. I mean, think, okay, this is something we need to start incorporating so that they can go from be more successful in the vocational domain. So you can be thinking of what kind of job you want, you know, in the future. Timmy, you can be thinking of what kind of job you think that she would be good at, and what do we need to put in place so that she can be more successful.
Partnering with the community for, you know, just some, even if she's interested in any type of retail work, you know, there's the sheltered workshops in Madison County, thrift stores and things that maybe she could go and learn retail, like if that's what you were interested in.
I think her career interests are gonna have a big deal to say in that. On one hand, on the other hand, just exposure to things that she may or may not be aware of. And can we help to get her exposed to what it's like to do certain jobs? Are there job shadowing opportunities? Are there things that she's not even considered before that we can begin to look at right in her own community?
Or career day and job fairs when the people in the community come in.
Yeah. So she actually did take an interest survey whenever at the beginning of this course, whenever we started, and human services was the highest on her list and seemed to be one of the things that made the most sense. So maybe setting up, whether, you know, she can do an A+ student where she can do her, what are those community service hours basically, so that she can serve that. So even like volunteering at the preschool would be, you know, something that she could do right on. I've even thought about something that we can utilize in the school setting is, I feel like taking students into nursing homes, banks, grocery stores, all of those things where we can actually start to combine, you know, so then they're doing a little bit of the domestic where they're, you know, whether it's how do I set up an appointment, you know, but also, you know, could I have a job here at this grocery store, you know, teach them how to make a list and how to shop for their list, but then at the same time work it out with management where you could maybe also take a tour. And so students are seeing what the job would be like and covering more than one instruction area at a time. So I really think being in the community is more, it needs to be something that's more natural. So wherever they're just going to commonly need connection at, I would like to make that more of, like I said, where we combine cross-curricular and be able to, you know, let's take them to a bank and let's teach them how to set up a bank account, teach them how to work their online banking services, teach them how to get a loan, things like that. And then at the meantime, they can also be job shadowing at that bank to learn what it would be like, you know, the different jobs, loan officers and new accounts and bank tellers and things like that, so that they can begin to incorporate all of that at the same time. I don't know how much of that is possible so much in gen ed as it would be for special services, but at the same time, I think that's something that everybody can do, even parents being encouraged to take their kids in. We took her in this summer and got her first debit card. And that was something that I felt like she was proud of. You know, she got onto, you know, you're only 14, right? But was able to get on her online banking. We set that up. She needed a little bit of help answering the questions, but not too bad. And she's able to look on there and be like, okay, well, I have this much money. You know, those are all things So those are all transition skills that living on your own. You know, when we went to take you for your physical, for sports, you know, I had her, I'm like, okay, I had her kind of take different, questions, her health history and things like that, so that she knew what to do. So that's the wrap up of our time. But recreation and leisure, and like I said, and how to work the community in those as well, are all things that we'll continue to hit throughout the end of this lesson. So
Okay, well, thank you.